Hello everybody, and welcome to my 270 subscriber special, the breakdown of the 5th and my favourite episode of Walking with Dinosaurs, Spirits of the Ice Forest. The episode claims to be set in Antarctica, but almost all the creatures would have occurred in the far south of Australia, which, although it experienced the midnight sun, was not Antarctica. They were, at the time though, connected, and this episode is set in the Rift Valley, where they would have been connected. It is believed that Leelinosaura was not able to hibernate. Leelinosaura probably had a thick coat of feathers to keep it warm, as many cold living dinosaurs had feathers, but some recent studies show that feathers may not have been necessary for dinosaurs living in the Antarctic and Arctic circles. The last record of Leelinosaura fossils is 4 million years before the episode's setting, but it is possible it could have survived until when the episode is set. Leelinosaurus' tail should be much longer, making up 3/4 of its total body length. Coolosuchus lived 16 million years before the episode setting of 106 million years ago, in the Aptian rather than the Albian. Though it is true that temnospondyls only survived as long as they did because of isolation from crocodiles, Coolosuchus is not believed to have gone extinct due to the warming of the South Pole, allowing crocodiles to take a niche. The fact that Coolosuchus is stated to have gone extinct due to the South Pole warming appears to contradict with the idea that these polar dinosaurs went extinct due to continued cooling, an episode that is stated at the very end of the episode. Coolosuchus probably didn't attack like a crocodile. It would more likely have attacked like modern amphibians such as Newton's salamanders, using a suction method. This episode is the only episode that doesn't feature a named pterosaur, but this unknown pterosaur, possibly Mythunga, which uses the Corkycephalus model from last episode, it appears. At the time the series was made, there were no named pterosaurs from the early Cretaceous of Australia, as they have mostly been named in the last decade. This creature is based on an ankle bone of Australovenator from New South Wales and Queensland, which was thought to be an allosaur, but was more recently reclassified as a Megaraptoran. A group of theropods, whose placement on the theropod family tree is unclear, with them being believed by some to be an allosauroid, and others to be a tyrannosaurid, and others even to be a basal carnosaur. More recently, in 2020, a specimen that has been assigned to Australovenator was discovered in southern Victoria, near where this episode is set. The real Australovenator should be more slender, have a longer, thinner snout, and should probably have feathers. Matasparasaurus should probably be less robust, but I personally have seen some interesting, more chunkier restorations. It should also be depicted as bipedal, rather than alternating between biped and quadruped, but this was debated at the time of production, and there are some fossil displays that still depict it as quadrupedal, including the one in the Melbourne Museum, which I quite recently visited. There is no evidence that Matasparasaurus was migratory, but it is plausible that hadrosaurs and their closest relatives, including Matasparasaurus, were the most likely non-avian dinosaurs to be migratory. Matasparasaurus would not have had thumb claws. A giant weta is any species in the genus Dinocrida which dates back to the Triassic period 190 million years ago. The species that appears in this episode is not specified. It is stated that tuataras evolved in the Triassic, but tuatara refers to any species in the genus Sphenodon, with the only known species being S. punctatus. The genus Sphenodon evolved in the early Miocene, 19 million years ago, but Sphenodontids, the family that tuatara belongs to, evolved in the Triassic. There are no Sphenodontids known from the early Cretaceous of Australia, Antarctica, or even New Zealand. The closest thing is Tikka giriachinoi from the very early late Cretaceous of South America. Tikka is also a sister species genus to Sphenodon. The Steropodon is live-acted by a Coati mundi, relative of raccoons, when in reality it was a monotone quite similar to a platypus. Steropodon lived in New South Wales, not Victoria, but a relative, Cryorinctes, lived at around time and place. It is stated during the credits that the South Pole got colder, causing these creatures to go extinct, but in reality it got warmer continuously until the freezing of Antarctica in the Eocene.